Unfortunately, I wanted this band. I really wanted this band to be a democratic thing. Unfortunately, I had to become the tyrant. Now I know what Dave Mustaine feels. Now I know what Dino Cazares feels. Now I know what like a Axl Rose is stuck with the one thing. I get it. It's you. You have a vision, and some other people are pulling it out or not pulling their weight. I'm a serious musician. I want to make serious music with serious people who want to make a serious band and have music that will transcend the times. And that's not been easy. And I've been anything. I have to say this now. Now I feel blessed that I have Mischa, Alex, and Carlos
Hmm.
now. And without them, I'm nothing.
Christian Salamanca, thank you so much for your time today. I mean, I should say, especially right now, because I'm calling you, you're in Montreal, and
Yeah.
as we're speaking, Montreal is playing the Capitals for the playoffs in hockey. Do you care about that? Like, are you like waiting for this interview to be over so you can go back and watch the game, or are you like, I don't even care about hockey?
That's a very good question. And hi, hello, Jasper. It is an honor to be here on your podcast. Honestly, as a first generation Canadian with a Spanish last name, and living in Montreal, the center of heavy metal and the center of hockey, I think in all Canada. Yeah, I was
Shots
never
fired.
really much into it. Sorry. No offense to no one who's a hockey fan, but I think that just because you're Canadian does not necessarily mean you got to love hockey, drink maple syrup, and be a fan of the Tragically Hip. There are certain like levels of Canadian citizenships that go a little way beyond that. So, if the Montreal Canadiens do well in the Stanley Cup playoffs, I wish them well. And to be completely honest, when I was living in Calgary and when the Calgary Flames were in a few playoffs a few years ago, and they got eliminated, and I was just like jumping around celebrating, yeah, Canadians, the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup, and the legend continues. So on that aspect, I think that I'm cool with that. But if they do well, great. If they don't, next year.
All right, all right. So that's why you probably had to relocate from Calgary after saying that in the streets.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right. But hey, I mean, while we stay with the jokes for a little bit, like a Brazilian, a Chilean, a Venezuelan, and a Russian form a band in Montreal. That sounds like the start of a joke.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Yeah, funny enough. Yeah.
and but to make that straight into a very serious thing, then you guys bring a very eclectic sound, and is the fact that we get four highly different people coming together. I know obviously the lineup today is not the lineup that it always was, and the band has evolved, but the band today sounds extremely eclectic, and the band is from an identity very eclectic. Is it as simple as that is one of the main reasons, or what do you think has driven that evolution to becoming even more adventurous over time?
As the band stands today, the Mark III formation, as I like to call it, the eclecticity, the multiculturalism of the band, honestly, just poof, it came to be just by
Yeah.
coincidence. It wasn't planned at all. Um, as the time comes by, and I'm the only original member. And to clarify, I'm born in Montreal, born from Montreal. My parents are Chilean, first generation Canadian, as that means.
Hmm.
And I lived in Chile, then I lived in Calgary, then I lived in Chile, then I lived in Calgary, and I'm in here. So technically, I'm a citizen of the world who's also a living, breathing identity crisis.
Right.
And that being said, I really am able to adapt to anybody who wants to just play music. And so, in the aspect of just how it came to be, normally when people leave my band and I have to find somebody else, I just like look through the internets in the different ways. I may find someone that I find interesting. Hey, I'm looking for a drummer or a bass player, and here's my stuff. Tell me if you like it. And to be honest, at least 3 out of 5 times, to be like fair, oh my God, this is a good band, blah blah blah, and I'll check you out. Cool, cool, and that's how I've been having
Right.
um, band member changes. And as for this lineup, I found Misha again in this website called bandmix.ca, which is kind of like a Facebook for musicians.
Hmm.
And she was able to find Alex, our bass player, and I knew Carlos, our drummer. He joined the band in early 2023, so he's technically our second official drummer, third in lineup because I did hire a studio drummer for the album Land of Rage.
Hmm.
So he was already in the fold. Mischa showed up, and she's from Brazil. Okay, and then Alex shows up, and he's from Russia. Okay, they all like the songs, and they all want to collaborate. And quite frankly, I think that what came to be was this internationalization of ideas, and just in the sense that
Hmm.
we all love the metal, we all want to be in a cool band, we all want to be in a band that really enjoys playing together and playing the songs that we compose together,
Right.
and that's the all end all of kind of how that came to be. Is it cool? Yeah, I like it. Is my capitalist brain kind of tingling with ideas of how to promote this? Yeah. Am I going to listen to them? No. And I just feel it's cool when things just come organically and it just coalesce just as is.
Yeah,
She
yeah, yeah.
joined, and she brought her voice and her talents and her lyric writing. Alex comes with bass playing, and also not only that, he used to be a technical death metal guitar player in Russia, so he brings a whole lot of otherworldly things that I have even better than me. So it's by coincidence, not, never by design. And I just feel that it just shows, at least in our album, how like we just coalesce in the sense of
Right.
everyone collaborated with the little piece, and that's how it came out to be. And that's, I think, also, if you think about, if you listen to the songs, they're all different sounding songs. They're not really,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You make it sound as if it was super easy for you, but like, given that you are that, sole original member, like,
yeah.
has it always been that easy for you to let others in? And I don't mean that purely in a literal way, but everybody has been contributing, and people are bringing their own like flavor to the mix now, which is great with
Mhm.
all the results that you're talking about. But
Mhm.
was that always as easy for you to do? Like at the end of the day, people
Hell
come in
no.
and they treat your baby, right?
Hell no, no, absolutely not. I'm not sure how it works in any other metal scene or punk scene or rock scene or whatever scene. I suppose it just comes down to we're living in the 2020s now, post COVID, and it's super hard to get people to be taken seriously with the
Right.
ideas and your vision of music, whatever. When I came to Montreal, I came with the vision of being in a band. But first, I took my own personal baby steps. I lowered myself. I became a bass player. I played bass in a few bands. I played bass in a Nirvana tribute band and two punk bands. And then I played guitar in a crust punk band for about a month, and then it worked out. And it's just kind of evolving and learning along the way how the scene works, how this works, what to listen to, who not to listen to. And so when my idea to form a band of my own ilk came to be, the first people who were interested, or the first Generation One Mark One formation that came to be, at first was kind of almost the same way. Oh, we like your songs, blah blah blah. I'm the one writing the songs. I'm the one coming up with the ideas, and they kind of collaborated a little bit. And our only good collaboration was the song 751, which is technically the one and only song the Mark One formation ever recorded and released.
Right.
They didn't want to release it. I released it, and how it came to be is, what I'm trying to say here is, when you're the guy who's kind of have the vision and kind of like, no, trust me, guys, I know what I'm doing. Listen to me. Do this way. Whatever else is going to make it, it's going to muddy it up. It tends to be like, oh, other the egos, or I don't know, personal vendettas of other people get in the way. The first Mark really wanted CHÜZO to be a hardcore band and pull the band into that area, which by all means, Frank's would. I'm going to say it right here. I have zero hardcore credibility. Never have I put X's in my hand. I saw Hatebreed open for Slayer. That's how hardcore as I get. There's this like really weird mentality that being in a scene is much more important than being your own band.
Right.
Just can agree with that. I'm a fan of music, not of scenes. Like, yes, I do like hardcore. I do like punk. I do like shoegaze. I do like doom metal. I do like hip hop. I'm a Team Kendrick and not Team Drake. Sorry, Toronto. I just really feel that when you're the person trying to deliver the ideas, when you try to have as collaborators and not people who try to stomp your ideas and kind of, no, this is better, do it this way type of thing. That's what happened to Sepultura. That's what happened to other bands. And I just feel proud enough and focused enough in my ideas to know that what I like is what I like, and what I don't like is what I don't
Right.
like, and know what would be collaborative and what will not work. Thus, that first formation, unfortunately, ended with a bad bitter taste. The second formation was that's when Carlos came in, and I think I have to give props to Carlos because Carlos was the only one who was actually trying to be creative and trying to write stuff, and that's the better stuff kind of from the era was written. But the other two members were lazy as hell. They didn't want to write nothing. They just want to stick to 8 songs, play these same 8 songs live, and that's when okay. If they left, then they left when in goodwill. Great, I find somebody else that'll be better suited for the job, and just it just comes down to basically stick to your guns, stick to your vision. I feel like, unfortunately, I wanted this band. I really wanted this band to be a democratic thing. Unfortunately, I had to become the tyrant. Now I know what Dave Mustaine feels. Now I know what Dino Cazares feels. Now I know what like the Axl Rose is stuck with the one thing. I get it. It's you have a vision, and some other people are pulling it out or not pulling their weight. I'm a serious musician. I want to make serious music with serious people who want to make a serious band and have music that will transcend the times. And that's not been easy. And I've been anything. I have to say this now. I feel blessed that I have Mischa, Alex, and Carlos now. And without them, I'm nothing. I'm just a dude with good riffs and a whole lot of big mouth and a whole lot of big ideas that no one wants to listen to. So I need someone else to like back me up with my the credibility and the pretensions of my ideas. So, no, it hasn't been easy. I had to go through a lot of grief. There's one story of a bass player was in the band for like a month, and I had to kick him out. He was just a lazy bastard. And then he posted some shit on the internet to me, and it got a few shows canceled. And so there's a whole other drama with that. So, no, it hasn't been easy. And I suppose it just comes down to, tolerance and taking pain and pressure and shit just comes with me. I don't know. I've worked the shittiest jobs. I've had the shittiest bosses. I've had the most heartbreaking heartbreaks from ex-girlfriends. I just keep going. I just keep going. I just keep going. And if people, and whenever I was blessed to find these new musicians, they follow me and they believe in my vision. And that's what I need. People to believe the vision and also can believe that this is my vision and you can make it better with your collaboration, right, your ideas. And honestly, like Mischa is, what can I say? I say this in a few other interviews. She was the voice of CHÜZO even before she knew it. We went through 3 vocalists. No, she was the voice of CHÜZO. Like it had to be to this point to get it. So it's kind of like shit had to happen the way it had to happen for this band to finally come to be what it should be and how it should have sounded from the get-go.
I think the band has stated before that, a lot of dealing with adversity and feelings of vengeance have fueled some of the songwriting. When we read the lyrics, again, at least in my interpretation, it seems that often the storyteller is also the villain. And so when you say sure, yeah, other people, they weren't pulling their weight and I had to get rid of them and I had to work all these shitty jobs and I had some shitty issues with girlfriends and what have you. But it sounds like when you write your songs, you're not afraid to not put the blame of yourself as well at times. Is that a right interpretation of it?
Yeah, I can say that.
Is that hard to open up in that way and tell to people hey, I'm not necessarily the perfect guy?
No, that's cool. That's cool. That was a good question. I'm going to answer it. Let me put it this way. I don't have a good relationship with my father, but he did tell me this one thing in life that stuck with me. In life, whatever you do, if you put any effort into it, one of two things is going to happen. 50% is going to work or 50% is not going to work. Thus, you have to be prepared for both eventualities. And that being said, yes, I am somewhat tyrannical in my ways. I suppose it just comes down to I don't want to be compared to any other artist or great rock star or whatnot, but I really do not have too much time to waste when it comes to I have art to make. There's a fire inside of me that is burning and it's painful and I need to write these riffs. I have these songs and ideas that come out. The ideas of Land of Wrath, Land of Rage, little exclusivity. Our next EP is called Land of Wrath. The previous one's called Land of Rage.
Okay.
And so all of this is just kind of this band is more than just for me. It's more than just a band. This is my freaking therapy. This is me like spitting out all the venomous shit that has been going on within me, personally speaking, in the world, and within the words that I can best express them. Um, Proof is in the pudding, in a sense. Like I said, in the first Mark One formation, they wanted to pull the band towards hardcore. I didn't let them. They eventually formed their own bands, and they write the shittiest fucking lyrics. They have the shittiest fucking riffs, and they have the shittiest fucking fans. I don't really abide by just being in a band for the sake of being in a band. There's got to be a more deeper purpose. And if that bothers people, if that bothers anyone in the band or anyone around me, that I'm not really, you can tell me a lot of things. I'm not friendly. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm an a-hole, whatever. But you can't tell me that I write shitty songs, that I write shitty riffs, and that's my purpose in life. I'm not here to be a comedian. I'm not your monkey to entertain you. I have a purpose in life, and that's to write riffs. As pretentious as that fucking sounds, that's the truth. And I suppose if there's a certain attitude that goes with it, and it's more or less portrayed in the songs, especially in Brand New Cell, where you kind of hit the nail. Like, yeah, it's the villain that's speaking. It's the villain that's behind it. It's the villain that's kind of pulling that shit in. So yeah, there's this. There's everyone has a dark side, and I'm expressing it through music, and I better do it like that, or else I don't. You do not want me with a gun.
There you go. There you go. All right. Keep guns away from you. Good to know. Now, we had the EP. We had lots of shows already. You've done some shows in Ontario. But, 2025 is at the end of the day not, over yet by far. Mm-hmm. So for the remainder of the year, like, what's the focus? But also, like, what does this band have to do for the remainder of the year so that you would say at the end of it, this was a successful year for us?
Well, right now, as we speak, we won't be able to do that many shows in June and July. Mainly, shout out to Carlos. He's going to be a father. He's waiting his first kid in June. So
that's exciting.
June, we can't jam, we can't play. He's waiting for that call and like 3 o'clock in the morning to go to, the deal.
Yeah, I've been there.
And then my bass player, who is from Russia, is going to see his kid in Russia. So he's going to vacation over there for the whole month. Like, okay, cool. One more thing. So those two are like we're having a little 2-month hiatus for personal reasons, I suppose. Beforehand, we will be. We've had the offer and the privilege of CJLO, the University of Concordia radio station and AM radio station, to ask us to do a live presentation on there. So we're going to do that. It's going to be like recorded, and it's going to be very, very pretty looking and great sounding. It's a super cool opportunity for us. That's sometime in May, and then let's say June off, July off. August we have one show in Montreal, and then in sometime in September we have a show in Sherbrooke, and then the only focus after that is basically getting in the studio and record, and hopefully see what happens at the end of the year with our publicist, who's kind of like, we should always, when we record, like, keep the stuff and don't release nothing yet, just like so we kind of plan out how to release it whenever we want to release it.
For sure.
But yeah, this year is going to be, for me, it will be a success if we have a few more shows. If not, show wise, I think that run we did through Ontario was absolutely fantastic. We had such a great time. And if we have 2 more shows or 3 more shows, if they're great, but mainly if we can get everything recorded and done before the end of the year, even if we release or not. Padre, Spiritu Santi, I wash my hands as they did with Jesus.
To wrap us up, you explore so many different sounds and elements, right? Parts of the new identity of the band on this latest EP. Yeah. We talked about that, at least in certain songs, the voice of the villain speaks, and you already shared that the next EP seems to be a continuation of the story you're telling on the previous EP. So, are there elements that we've heard that we should expect more of? Like how is the story musically and lyrically? How do you see that progressing into the future?
Well, first off, I said before, the next EP is going to be called Land of Wrath, and it's the final EP of the trilogy. If you actually check out our discography, there's Land of Rage, Land of Anger, Land of Wrath. Well, supposed first Land of Anger, Land of Rage, and then the finals of Land of Wrath. And it's going to be a continuation of M.T.M.D, but honestly, the songs that we've already written, I think we took a step up. Like we're we're all like what we explored in M.T.M.D was like groovy death metal, grindcore, a little bit of slam elements, and now we're doing like Euro metal, like dissection at the gates, very fast tremolo picking mixed with slam, mixed with new metal, mixed with grindcore, mixed with like groovy stuff. Like we're our musicianship has upped a notch, and I only have like Alex and Carlos to thank, who basically they push me to be better, and I go, okay, great, I'll have to bring some harder riffs for you, great. And yeah, I'm pretty enthusiastic about how it's going to come out. The next album is going to be 6 songs, and then after that, we do have planning an actual LP, our first long play. We've been drowning in the EP and singles game for a while. I think we've matured enough now to find that we're a big boy band. We deserve an LP, and hopefully, through this medium or through somewhere, gets to the ear of a good label who wants to collaborate with us and wants to hopefully internationalize the most international band in Montreal. I can't think of any other band that has so much multiculturalism in one go. All of us loving metal, and the heavy metal capital of Canada. I mean, come on, guys. This is your marketing dream, dude. So, yeah, I'm pretty enthusiastic what's coming up next. We've got the new songs are coming up, are really good. There's a lot of good vibe in the band, and a lot of good energy. But like I said, we're just taking that little 2 month hiatus for honest purposes. That aside, yeah, if we record, it's a success, and if we get shows a success, and for those of us who've been listening to us and paying attention to us, we appreciate the support, but you heard nothing yet. You ain't heard nothing yet.
All right, big words to wrap us up. Cristian, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
We can start keeping our eyes open, ears open, and fingers crossed for that new material to come sooner rather than later. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope that everybody can kind of recharge those batteries in June and July, and that you can come back with a bang. Have a wonderful rest of the day, man.
And thank you. Enjoy your evening too, and thank you so much for the opportunity. And stay metal, stay heavy.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.